I'm trying to make this video. First off, excuse my face. I'm not wearing makeup. My hair is a mess, but I'm off today, so I'm not feeling like putting makeup on. But this video is more important than that. So yeah, I guess I'll start. I'm not really sure how to start this because I never really make videos like this, and I don't know what to say, but I guess I'll just gonna start. So my husband had a situation about 2 weeks ago with the police in San Francisco, and I'm gonna link, I guess, the video somewhere so you can watch his story and you can watch his side of the story, and you can, make your own opinion of it or whatever. But I wanted to, talk about my side and how I feel about it, and talk about it. The whole point, I guess, of making all these videos is to spread awareness and have people talk about it. And so go watch this video. And if you've ever been in a situation like this or a similar situation, make a video too. Just film yourself and talk about it, post it. We've all seen what happened with the hashtag #MeToo. Everybody came out and talked about it. So I guess, kind of this situation, there's an issue and we need to talk about it. So just go ahead and watch the videos that are being posted, not just by my husband, me, but also like his friends, on many more people that are going to post videos. I guess use the hashtag let's talk. I guess that's what I guess he used, and I feel like that's a good hashtag because you can click on it and see all the videos. So I guess I'm gonna talk about it. So he was at work, and I'm just gonna give a short story, but just to summarize it. So he got pulled over for a ticket, I guess, or he was in a carpool lane. Everybody doesn't know what that is. Like, if you go in a lane that is, I will say, like a special lane where you can only go with at least 2 or 3 people. I think in San Francisco it's 3 people. But as a lot of people probably know, we just moved here, so it's a little confusing to get around. So he got pulled over, as many more people too got pulled over. And so the cop was telling him that he's in the wrong lane. So he was asking questions, more information about it, where he can go now, so he knows for next time and all that. So the cop got a little rude, I guess. And there's something about my husband that you guys should know that maybe not a lot of people know, but he really has a talent or a gift, I would say, to when he looks in people's eyes, he can tell like how you are. He can see like what type of person you are. So he always says the eyes never lie. That's what he always says. So he had a feeling about this cop that this is not the first situation that he's been in that he was I guess treated in a wrong way by a cop. So he had a feeling about him, and he asked to speak to a different officer, because there were more. It was not just him. So he was like, can I just speak to this other person right over there, please, so that I can ask my questions and talk in a normal way to him. And he got really very I guess offended or something. But he long story short, he pulled a gun at him, into his face, saying, you're under arrest, like, you're coming with us for a ticket that is maybe like $300, $400. That's just easy. Like, you pay the ticket or do defensive driving or whatever you need to do. But no, he pulled a gun which shouldn't happen at a normal traffic stop, and he arrested him. They pulled him out, got like handcuffs tight as like on his wrists and everything. So yeah, they took him in. It was a long story, so watch the video for all the details, but he was in jail for one night. His bond was $43,000, which is just crazy for a ticket. That's like a felony, pretty much. He got charged with threat to an executive officer, which I don't know why. He didn't threaten nobody. So, and then more. He got 3 charges. Then they released him, and we're still unsure what is going on because they don't really give us any information. The police report is not out. We don't know anything. They're still working on it, I guess. They can still add something, edit something, whatever, which is really not right because the situation is over. It was one situation, one day, and that should be done. So it's a crazy situation. So that really changed the whole like overall impression and feeling that we have of the city and the police in general. I mean, we already knew what they're doing. We see the videos every day, and you guys see it too. I mean, just go on Instagram, every day there's something like someone calling the cops on innocent people or the cops shooting innocent people and also getting away with it, which like that's really not the whole point because you're not above the law, and if you break the law, if you shoot somebody, that's murder. So yeah, he should be charged with something like that. But yeah, that's a whole nother story. So yeah, that's pretty much a short story of what happened to him, and I just wanted to talk about what my feeling about it is and how I felt when it happened. So I was at home. It's just us here, so we don't know anybody here besides our coworkers, but just him and me. So I was at home. It was my off day, just like today. I was sitting at home waiting for him to come home, and it was like about 7. He's usually home by maybe like 5:36, something like that. So it was 7 o'clock, and I didn't really like pay attention too much to the clock, but I got a phone call, and I answered. So it says like, this is a call from San Francisco jail or something like that. And I was like, what is going on? So I just clicked away. I've seen like these videos before, documentaries where inmates like call random numbers and trying to get some money on their books or something. So I was just like, I didn't think like, no, this is nothing. Like, this is really just, I clicked away. So the call comes through again. I'm like, this is weird. So I listened to the message, and it said, this is a call from, and it was blank. So there was no name given. So I was like, I don't know, this is weird, but whatever, let me just hear who it is. So it says you have to put money on the, like, use your credit card to load like money onto your phone number or something so that you can take the calls, like, collect calls. So it charges you like every minute or so. So I was like, okay, whatever. And it said, well, the minimum was $50. I'm like, $50? I'm not going to spend $50 to hear what someone has to say. No. So I clicked away, and the call comes through again. I'm like, this is weird. Like, someone is really persistent. So I got nervous. I looked at the clock. I was like, 7. This is really weird. So I called my husband's phone, went straight to voicemail. So it's turned off. And I called his work phone. It's turned off too. So I was like, okay, no, something is wrong. I got like super nervous. I like started shaking, and like I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Like, what is going on? Like, I put my clothes on. I was like, do I have to go somewhere? I don't know. So he finally called me again, and thank God he called again, and didn't like stop. So I loaded some money on there, and I got the call, and he told me everything, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Like, this is not right. So I was like crying. I was like, oh my gosh, like, what am I gonna do? What are we gonna do? I was like, I have to like probably find a second job. Like, we have to move somewhere, like cheaper, or I don't know, something to like get around, or I don't know. And so yeah, then he said like, okay, well, let's wait until tomorrow. They said I'm gonna be released tomorrow, hopefully, because one more thing, they said, oh, you don't have to even like worry about like bonding out, because this happens all the time here and we always see it being dismissed. So I was already like, this is weird. Why do they like pull people over and then dismiss them the next day? Like, if you pull somebody over or if you arrest somebody for charges that are like serious charges, why do you release them again? That means you just making it up, obviously, because I mean, you don't just release somebody on like that is charged with a felony. No. So that's really weird. Like, people should really pay attention to that and be like, something is wrong. So yeah. Anyhow, yeah. Now I lost my thought. I guess we were waiting for the next day. He came back. His car got towed or impounded. So the charge to get the car out was over $800. At first, they didn't want to release the car because we have a Texas license and he has a Texas license. So that, well, you can't get the car. You have to have a California license. The only reason why we don't have a California license right now is because you need to take a driving test to get the license. What I don't think is really necessary, because we've been driving in Texas forever and we both have our license. Even when I came from Germany, I didn't have to take a driving test in Texas. Like, they just took my German license and they gave me the Texas license. Easy process. But here, for some reason, you have to go through all this thing. You have to like learn all these rules again. Like, nobody knows all these, like, oh, how many feet away from like a whatever intersection you can park, like all this stuff. I'm not gonna like learn all this just to get from a Texas license to a California license. That makes no sense, because I know how to drive. But yeah, so that's the only reason why we didn't have a California license yet. So that was the one charge too. He was charged with driving with an invalid license or without license, which is stupid because he does have a license. So yeah, they didn't want to give him his car back. Finally, they agreed to like adding in some other charges or more money to it to get it out. So at the end, it was like $840 or something. And then turns out they stole his Beats headphones out the car. Like, it was just a whole like mess. So we've been just like, I guess, having to spend all our money that we have right now onto getting a car from the impound, like for no reason. So all that, whatever. Yeah, that was like really scary. Now everything changed. Like, his demeanor changed, like everything. It was really, really nice here. Like, I really, really loved it here. It was beautiful. Like, it's like we're right on the water. Like, you can see right through our window. You can see the whole skyline. When it's not foggy, you can see the Golden Gate Bridge. You see the Bay Bridge. Everything. We're like right on the water. There's mountains on the other side. Like, it's super beautiful, and we really loved it here. Like, we're like so happy. And now all this changed. Like, you like see it in his face, like you can see in his eyes, like he's not like the same anymore. It all changed him. So that's like one big thing that people don't really like realize, that all this is just, you know, the cops are just like, oh, whatever, you know, their little power trip, like, oh, you know, I'm the boss here and you have nothing to say, so we're gonna do what I say. But they don't realize all this, what is like attached to that one little action that they did. So thank God, like he didn't shoot. Like, thank God, for real. The other cop had to like pull him back because he knew something is wrong. Like, the guy pulled the gun and the other cop pulled him back. So like, this could have like really ended in a really, really like different ending. And I don't know what I would have done. Like, I don't know what I would do. Like, I'm like really now have to like worry about him every single day. He's out driving somewhere for his job, and it could happen any minute, like any time. A cop could just be like, okay, you're gone now, and shoot him. And this is like, it's just insane. So yeah, I don't know what to say, but anybody that has been in a situation like this, like, I know I have friends, I have black friends, Hispanic friends, like, if you have been in a situation like this, or friend or a family member, even my white friends, like just, I mean, I'm sure you have some friends that are of minority, and you've maybe heard a story like this, just please like speak up, like make a video, like just tell the story so that we can spread like the awareness so people can actually know the personal side of it, like, and feel your heart and feel what you're going through. Because when you see all these posts on Instagram, it's probably like a report, like someone wrote a story about it, or so, like, okay, I just saw it on Instagram, this little girl, 5 years old, the cops like ran into their house, pulled it, like actually held a gun at her chest, 5 years old, and they were like, oh, sorry, we got the wrong house, we were actually looking for a drug dealer. Are you serious? No, like, you can't do that. This girl is gonna be like done for the rest of her life. She's always gonna have that in her mind. She's 5 years old. This is not right. But you don't hear the personal stories. You don't hear her story or her mom's story. Like, all they do is like, oh yeah, let me settle this, here's $2 million or whatever they got. Like, this is not right. Like, you can't just be like, okay, here's the money. Like, we don't want money for all this. We want change. We want this to not happen again. So something needs to change. Like, people need to wake up and realize that you can't just do this and walk around like this and expect everything just to be normal. No, this is not normal. People in other countries, they don't get treated like this. I know that. My husband knows it too. When he was in Germany, what the cops did there, they were investigating some glass that was laying on the ground because they had nothing else to do. They were like, oh, there's broken glass. Okay, let's write this report, whatever. They got other stuff to do, whatever. Here, no. First of all, there's so much going on here that really needs police attention, but they are focused on little things and spend all their energy and all their time on those little things just to prove they have power and just to prove they are above you, which is not true, because this is also just a job. We go to work too, but you can't just abuse this like power. I wanted to say something about that. I forgot what it was, but maybe I'll think about it later. But yeah, so please, if you have some story like this, please share it. Post your videos, even if it's weird talking to a camera. What it is for me, it's like, it's so awkward. I've never done this before, and I'm like sitting in here at home by myself, just talking to myself and looking into the camera, looking at myself. But it's weird. It took me like probably 12 different times to try to get this video started. So just like overcome this and make the video. Like, share it, please. Post it on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. Post it everywhere. I'm gonna do the same thing. It's gonna be on all my social media. And if you know me, like, I don't really like talk about all this stuff, but it's really gotten to a point now that I can't just sit here and just like not do anything, because it affects a lot of people, and a lot of people are affected by that too, because they have families and friends that are affected. So it's a whole big thing. Like, it's just a whole wave, like one drip and it waves out. Like, I don't know how it's called, but that's how it is. A lot of people are affected. So yeah, just speak up. Like, even if you see something on the streets going on, speak up. Just say something, because it's not right to just stand by and not do anything. Just like that shop owner did in New York, where the little 15-year-old boy got stabbed to death by machetes and whatnot, by like, I don't know, 5-6 people for no reason, because they got the wrong boy. Now he's dead, and his family, everybody is affected. But the shop owner was just looking, and he didn't do anything. He didn't even call 911. That's the least you can do. Call 911. Don't like just stand there. So do something, like speak up, talk about it, make your videos, inform other people, like talk to them about it, because not everybody knows. Not everybody been through this situation. If I see somebody that is like making a joke about all these things, I say something. I tell them, what are you talking about? This is not right. Like, you can't just do that. Or people staring at other people for no reason, filming other people being in a situation like that just so they can get their little fame on Instagram, and like, oh, look what I've seen today, like someone got arrested. No, you don't know the story. You don't know what is going on. You can't label nobody like that. Oh, well, he's a criminal. Obviously, if he got arrested, he did something. No, it's not true. People get arrested for no reason, and you don't know. You cannot judge people like that for not knowing their story. And I did the same thing. I was at BART, the train here, and this guy was like questioned by like the police and BART police. Like, there was like 6-7 people around it, surrounding him, this one guy, and these people were all staring. I was like, stop staring. Like, this is not right. You don't know what he did. You don't know what his story is. So I told the guy when we got into the BART, I was like, well, you better take a picture so it lasts longer. You can keep staring. And he was like, what are you talking about? And I said, well, you kept staring and you judging him. I know you are. And he's like, oh no, I was just looking at the time clock over there. And I said, yeah, right. Like, that's not right. You're rude for doing this. So call people out, like, talk to them and like let them know. So yeah, I guess this video is like 20 minutes now. I just wanted to just, I guess, end with a quote. I looked up 2 quotes that I really, really liked. One is by Martin Luther King, and it's, we are now faced with the fact that tomorrow is today. The urgency is now. I really like this quote because it's true. Like, people are just, we know this is it. Like, we can't just let this go further. We've, like, this been going on for hundreds of years, and it should end now. It's 2018. This should not be going on here in this country. Like, everybody here, pretty much, besides if you're a native, you're from a different country. You have different ethnicities, and you have different ancestors and all this stuff. So nobody should be calling out people, and not just the cops, it's other people too. Like this lady putting the middle finger into this Mexican guy's face, that, like, calling him a rapist. He is a legal person here. He's legal. He's a citizen. He is doing hard work. He's paying his taxes, like all that. But she still did that because now everybody feels like it's right because the president is saying it, and they're like, okay, must be okay to do that now because he gets away with it. So stop listening to what they say, like what he says and what he portrays him as, like this racist, sexist, like person with all this hate in his heart, and he's just, it's not right. And then I found this other quote by Malcolm X, which I really liked, and it fit the situation. It says, you are not to be so blind with patriotism that you can't face reality. Wrong is wrong, no matter who does it or says it. And that's so true, because you can't just go around just because you have power or your job title tells other people you have power, like police or politicians. You can't do that. Like, it's wrong, so it's wrong. Everybody should be held accountable for what they do the same way. So yeah, I really like this. You have both sides, Martin Luther King and you have Malcolm X, and I feel like both should be used as role models together. The peaceful side and also the more very dominant side, and like very, at some times like aggressive side, but everything should be, I think it should be taken together in one big mix, because I mean, we've seen just only peaceful protests. It doesn't work. People just out in the street like protesting, it doesn't really make a change. But only aggressive side doesn't work either. Like, just, I don't know, if you know, but you can see what I think it was in the 90s in LA where they I forgot the name, but look it up. There's a documentary in Netflix about it, where they just like did these big riots all throughout LA, and it was burning for like days. Like houses were burning, like businesses were burning. That doesn't change a lot either. So we have to like find like a good like common ground with both sides. So that's why I picked those two quotes. So yeah, make your own opinion of it. Think about it, like research it, because it's really important to know what is going on. And if you want to change something, if you want something, you have to make some noise. So you have to speak up. So yeah, I guess that's my story. That's my opinion on it in my little 25-minute video. So yeah, please, if you have any questions about it, or if you want to know more about it, just write me, like DM me. I'll like tell you everything that I know, and I can like maybe put some more insight into the story for people that are, not all that familiar with it. Maybe people like my friends from Germany or something that don't really know how it's going on, what's going on here. Like, I can't really see the whole story. They cover some things on the news, but there's so much more to it. So if you want to know about it, just, ask me, and I'll be happy to, explain some more. But yeah, please like post your videos, share your story, talk about it like with your heart, like tell people about it. That's the only way people can know. And yeah, I guess that's it. Have a good day. Bye.